Hi everybody! Welcome to this little mini campaign that I'm running. Before we begin tonight's game, I want to let's do it. I want to go through all the players and shout out whoever is playing in this game. So we'll run through everyone. Just introduce yourself. Tell us what you got going on. What's happening? Let's start with BK.
Hi. You can call me BK or Brendan or Ishing Lu. I am doing a lot of nothing.
Sick, dude. Where can the viewers find you?
Oh, they can find me on my YouTube, which I don't post on, or my Instagram, which I'm sure is just going to be the same name as whatever shows up at the bottom of my nameplate here. That's
Awesome.
probably where you can find most of my nonsense.
Tight. He's in Swindler's den. Belly!
Yes.
Hey there, I am BearlyCaffeinated. I play on another game here on the channel of Swindler's Den, which is Glory of the Giants. So definitely check that out. You can find me at Crits and Coffee on YouTube, where I do some of my own stuff.
Oh, wow. He was ready.
Yeah, he's much better at it than you are. Sorry, dude. Cryo!
Hi, I'm Cryo. You can find me on pretty much every social media as Chryolain, but the best place you can find me is here on YouTube over at Starlost D&D, where we also play D&D. Equa shows up there sometimes.
I may be showing up there in, I don't know, a couple months?
I think you'll show up there before this airs.
Oh, sick!
Actually, right around the same time.
Nice!
So go over if there's currently a mini series going on over there called Scattered, and if the Fire Scattered is out, then you can see Equa over there as well as me and Noah.
I don't want to say that I stole the show, but
You kind of did.
Christine
With the
stole the
accent,
show. Christine absolutely did.
Action is
really
a hell of a way to put that.
I was going alphabetically, but now I don't want to split up the groups. Noah, go ahead. Since you're tied into Cryo.
All right, what's
connected.
going on? Yeah, what's going on, everybody? My name is Noah, aka GlitchedStreams. I do streaming over at twitch.tv with the same name on my nameplate, and I am one of the founding members and consistent players of Starlost D&D. I keep trying to say Starlost Seas, and then I realize that we're going to like a campaign 2 soon, so I'm like, I can't keep saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It won't be seas anymore soon, which is wild. But it's okay. For now, we're here.
Grace?
Hello, my name is Grace. I go by GhostlightG everywhere except for Twitter because Twitter is weird. And I am mainly a musician. I post a lot of little songs that I do over on TikTok. I am also on a podcast called Spells and Whistles. I play a little tiefling caster named Melwyn. She used to be a warlock. She's not anymore. Spoilers. And otherwise, I am just here. I appear on Starlost sometimes. I do other things in the TTRPG space.
Grace is around.
I exist.
I feel like I should introduce myself now as well, even though this is going on Swindler's Den and everyone should know who I am.
We do it.
Yeah, sorry, who are you again?
Yeah.
Hi,
That's my husband.
I'm Equa. Equa is not funny. And I am the co-creator, co-owner of Swindler's Den, which is this channel that this game is going up on. And I do nothing else at any point in my life, ever. So, I also don't exactly know when this is going up, so I don't know announcements, but I guarantee probably Pathfinder you should check out. They're doing the Pathfinder game right now, and also Glory of the Giants. You should check that out. Anyway, so links to everyone's channels will be in the description below. To Chris Coffee's Starlost and Spells and Whistles. But without further ado, I'm gonna assume that we've done like a trailer video for this at this point, so we're just gonna jump right into it. Okay, so everyone, welcome to Port Jester. This city rests on the eastern side of the continent of Orat, which is where you are, but within the country of Siltergart. and as is the case for most cities in this world, it's home to creatures of all shapes and sizes. The loudest of which our camera immediately notices are the flocks of seagulls that make the ever-present like cheeps and chirps in the sky above. You look as they dive bomb the occasional wanderer who has a slightly too loose grip on their fish and chips. As you walk, the smell of fresh, salty sea air drafts through the moving streets, accompanied by battered cod and spiced Jester and pastries. The constant sound of hustle and bustle, of laughter and conversation through this entry point into the city that we find our first player going towards is ever present, and it's a nice ambience from the sort of open road of the Knife Walk that you would have wandered down to get here. As you go as well, the one sound that will be constant, whether it's, mid-morning or late at night, are the gentle roiling of waves crashing onto the beaches of the eastern side of the city, and the walls and the docks that help fortify it against potential, offenders from the Broken Empire, which lies to the east. At this point in our story, we lock in onto two figures who are walking into the city, having just passed the western gate. Grace, why don't you go ahead and describe your character?
Cool. So I am playing a Kalashtar, and very kind of just like not like the most clean looking individual. Looks like they've been traveling for a while. Very much just very plain looking, not very extraordinary. If you saw them in a crowd, like very much just blend right in. Brown hair, gray eyes, like simple traveler's clothes. Generally looking a little bit tired and weary from being on the road for a while. And yeah, that's about it. I'm not very good at descriptions. I'm sorry.
And walking next to her, we zoom in on a figure that is somewhat oppositional to the normalcy of your appearance. Walking next to your character with a bounce in her step is a beautiful, sharply featured Eladrin woman who wears light leathers that boast her physical features much more than her combative abilities. She's currently residing in her spring form, in which she holds her like greening brown hair and a high ponytail with several bangles kind of holding it up. Her outfit adorned in these thin vine-like tree roots that sprout different kind of flowers of oranges and pinks and yellows. Her long elven ears kind of go all the way back and curl at the tips, and her hair and pupils are a warm greenish yellow color in this spring form. As you guys enter into the city, you are immediately hit with the wave of people that are just kind of surrounding here. And as you enter, the place that you go into is more tightly packed in terms of buildings and structures than you might see further in. They are also of slightly less well-constructed make, and you can see, looking through them, mostly stone, but parts of them are wood, which is not the smartest building material for, first of all, a city that resides next to the ocean, and second of all, a city that gets a decent amount of rain. Saying that, the weather today is fairly warm and sunny, and most of the water has disappeared from within the cracks of the kind of older wood. As she bounces along and you kind of just follow behind, you see a big smile come over the face of your friend, whose name, for all intents and purposes, is Lithrain. she turns to you and says, "You know, I don't really know what I was expecting here, but I have missed the hubbub and the general atmosphere of city life. It's been a little too long, and my pockets are a little too empty for this."
I suppose that's fair. That's not the voice I was gonna do. Oh,
That's
well,
what
we're
it is
going with
now.
That's what it is now.
We've committed.
Fuck it. I mean, I suppose that's fair. Everything's quiet. I prefer it way quieter than this, of course, but what can you do?
Well, you better get used to it, because I'm going straight to the most populated place and finding a spot to play.
Of course you are.
What, do you want to get breakfast first?
Breakfast would be lovely.
Then breakfast we shall do. As you guys kind of bounce through the streets. This first entrance point is definitely busy, but the atmosphere is not quite as optimistic as perhaps Lithuania would like it to be. This part of the outside is maybe not quite as nice as the rest of the city, as you notice as you walk further and further inwards. It doesn't take you long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes before you come to like a break in the road where you see a small bridge that pops over a maybe 20 or 30 feet river that goes directly from the center of the city into the ocean beyond. And as you walk, you realize you've come from like the southeast side, and you've actually wound up going along the road towards the outer like eastern wall. And as you walk along this part of the city, encroach towards that river, you notice that the buildings become slightly more well fortified, well designed. You see aspects of dwarven architecture in there, which is, at least for this world, it's a sign of high construction. Walking along and going over that bridge, you see small like rowboats that sort of weave underneath of the stone architecture. And going over the bridge, you look out and you can see the ocean beyond. You see vessels that have bright white and blue sails docking in and out of the port that is just to your north. That like strong sea breeze kind of taking the hair that you have loose and blowing it back in your face. The sun is not quite high in the sky. It's about, I don't know, 11 or 10 in the morning. And you can see the beams reflecting off of the waves and catching your face. It's atmospheric, at the very least. As you trudge further into the city, weaving around the people, it gets busier in a different way here. You approach further into the more well-maintained districts, and the people change into that of intense purpose. Wherever they go, they are going to get there quick and efficiently. And as you walk, you almost find yourself like having to dodge out of their way instead of having to mingle through crowds for fear of not, getting in their way and upsetting them. But you go further in. So, you are looking for some place to get breakfast. How do you go about looking for this?
Poking around, seeing, looking at signs, if there's any signage around here. I don't know why I said it that way. That was weird.
Sure.
But...
So, go ahead and roll a perception or investigation check. It's your choice.
One of those is probably way better than the other. Where's perception? I am correct. Do perception. Solid start. I wish I was kidding.
What'd you get? A 1? First roll of the campaign, baby! Let's go!
That's gonna inform the rest of the campaign right there.
Solid start. Noah and Cryo have been playing games with me on and off for like a year now or so. And it is well known by this point that my rolls are either amazing or absolute dog shit, and there's
Oh, yeah.
no in between.
Never average.
Grace's roll ratio is abysmal. She definitely hasn't rolled the most number of ones in all of the games we've played, but like compared to every other number, yeah.
So we're talking like a reverse bell curve here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are not the most comfortable in, first of all, a new place, second of all, high-intensity crowds.
Det wants to go home.
Yeah, you find yourself kind of getting swept up in the moment, and as you're looking around for any sort of indication as to where you might be, you find yourself stopping and kind of really trying to focus on the buildings around you, and someone actually bashes into you and like hits you in the shoulder, and you both kind of separate, and you see like turning around to meet you this like middle-aged elven man, kind of sharp features but christened in wrinkles and crow lines, clearly a face that is used to scrunching up and being frustrated, probably more so for than you would expect for someone of his middle age. And you hear him kind of cuss under his breath at you, and then turn around, keeping his chin up high, and promptly stroll off.
I was gonna say sorry, but you didn't have to be an arse about it. All right then. Lith, help.
Ray is going to roll a perception check because she can do that because she's also got stats.
Hey.
Lith rolled a 12. It's not super good.
Better than a 1.
It's not super good, but it is good enough to kind of gauge whereabouts you guys are. And you're actually heading towards the sort of more businessy side of the city. You look down your left, and you see where you are on this like intersection of road. You're essentially looking down a high street. You see rows and rows of buildings that kind of rise up in blocks and are separated by maybe 10 to 15 feet of road in between individual clusters of buildings. Looking all the way down, you see like a small gathering of trees, and beyond that, an impressively large-looking building made of beautiful grey and white stone that sits right at the end of the road, like facing towards you. As Lith kind of like looks around, she says, "You know what? I don't think we're supposed to be here. I think we might be a little underdressed. Docs?"
Doc.
She kind of turns around and backtracks back the way that you came a little bit. As you go, you find yourself like on the as you walk there where that bridge is that you first initially crossed over. You can see like in between some of the houses there is kind of a wall of that river that is just like sheer stone and dirt, that is kind of wavy and intersectional where it goes, and you can see like a group of young kids who are just like playing around and trying to jump over like a little I don't know what to call it, like like a little hole, basically like a little ravine into where the river is. You can see like a young like dragonborn kid wearing shoddy clothes turns back to a kid who's maybe a little older than him. He's like, "Come on, just do it. It's not hard. Just jump over it." And the older kid's like, "I can't. It's too much." And then you see like a really young like or short halfling kid come over and give him a push, and the older kid just tumbles into the ravine and is now soaked as the other two begin laughing hysterically at him.
Oh.
And you
Poor
walk
kid.
past and take a left to head slightly more towards the docks. You do find a small cafe there, essentially. You look up and you see the sign that says, "My Sweets Rolls." And you both kind of like have a mutual understanding of, yeah, it's probably calls for a bit of sugar. And so you go in and begin to enjoy your breakfast.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you there for right now. And we're going to shift over to BK. You
Hello.
are hanging out, kind of wandering the city at your own pace. And you can't help but notice, over the corner of your shoulder, the voice of one young Heskinzire, goading his friends and his little gang to jump over a small ravine, and then one of them falls in the water and they all begin laughing very intently. As you notice this, why don't you describe your character for me?
Yeah. So, viewers will see a young man, maybe in his late teens or early 20s, with very light skin, almost kind of glowing. He's an Air Ganassi, but unlike many Air Ganassi who take on the very obvious features of their Jinni ancestors, Akan almost looks like a human if you're not paying too much attention. The only indications of his Jinni ancestry being his constantly shifting light blue-white hair and almost slightly iridescent porcelain skin. He's dressed in a bunch of really grubby, almost like thiefy leathers, but on top of it, he wears a very fine-looking overcoat, embroidered with all of this filigree, almost not matching at all what he's wearing underneath. He's constantly wearing this kind of smirk, and you see him carrying around an assortment of pipes. And as he sees Heskin and his gang fall into the ravine, Akan just smirks, shakes his head, and shoots over a message to Heskin. And you should hear this reverberate in his head, assuming he's not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
Is he? Nice try. Maybe next time you're not going to get covered in mud.
Yeah, you see Heskin, who is kind of up on the bank a little bit, having just watched his friend dive bomb into the water, essentially. Kind of got sprayed, and it wasn't enough to make him uncomfortable. At least not between the laughter, but now that he hears the message, you kind of see him go through a wave of emotions. Roll an insight check for me.
Sure. That's cocked. Hang on. 16 total.
Yeah, so as the message goes, you speak it aloud, and you feel the magic go through the air and impact into Heskin's psyche. As the message begins to take place, you can see his like young black dragonborn mouth slightly crook into a smile of excitement at the notion that you are around. And then you mention that he would be sprayed in mud, and then he immediately looks down and sees that his leather boots are just caked in him. He turns to the rest of the group and mutters something about being right back, and then he begins actively looking for you. I guess he'll roll a what's it check, a perception check. Come on, Heskin.
What's it checks?
For what it's worth, I'm not trying to hide from him. I'm just kind of standing there smiling.
Absolutely right. However, Heskin rolled a natural 2 for a 7. So he's kind of like...
We're starting off so strong.
looking really wide around him, squinting his eyes, and he's not seeming to find purchase. And you watch as he like spins around. He's now looking over the other side of the river to see if you're like over the other side of the bank. And you can see Heskin's normal form has like a big like piece of parchment like sticking out of his butt pocket.
Yeah. Seeing him not manage to find me, I'm just gonna approach him and tap him on the shoulder as he's faced away from me.
Yeah, you see Heskin kind of jump for a second and he says, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. Could have stabbed
Why
you."
not? I mean, you knew I was here?
Oh, I didn't know you were that close, though.
Yeah, well, why don't you try jumping over the ravine? Maybe you'll fare better than your buddy there.
Make a persuasion check.
Alright. That'll be a 19 total.
A 19. Yeah,
That's with a
Heskin,
natural 8. Just so we're clear.
Heskin kind of like puffs out his chest a little bit and he's like, "Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Probably be real impressive if I managed that, right?"
Yeah, I'll tell all your friends. I'll tell the whole gang that you
Okay.
managed to clear it.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Alright. Yeah. Mouse, get out of the way! And you see the small halfling child kind of like scurry off to the side. And Heskin kind of like takes a couple steps back and he... Okay. Takes a running jump at it. Actually rolled pretty good. Pretty good this time.
How wide is this that these kids are having to hype
It's
themselves up
not
for?
super wide. It's like...
It's like 3 or 4 feet or something.
It's like 5 feet max. And Heskin runs up and plants his foot on the very edge of the bank and just leaps. And you can see his little arms going through the air before he impacts into the ground a little hard, but totally fine and dry all the same. You see, like, some of the other kids go, "Yeah!" And the one kid who's down on the ground is kind of like... blows some hair out of his face that's wet and drying to his now like crooked nose. And Heskin kind of like turns around and he's like jumping up and down. He's like, "That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, did that pretty well."
Yeah. I'll make sure to let the gang know. Nice work.
Yeah.
Maybe you can help your friend down there, huh?
Yeah, I will. Oh, but wait, here. And he kind of runs around the whole side of the bank instead of jumping over it again to come around and see you. And kind of runs up right underneath of you, and he's only like half your height. Fumbles around in his back pocket and pulls out this piece of parchment that he had sitting there. He's like, "Bet you want to know what this is?"
You gonna tell me?
Maybe. Depends on how bad you want to know. It's very important information.
I mean, I'm already gonna put in a good word for you with the crew.
Okay. And he kind of like turns around and opens up the roll of parchment, and you can see this spiral of numbers on it. Nothing but this spiral of numbers. Nothing remarkable about this at all. Until Heskin kind of moves his little thumb from the top right-hand corner, and you see a small symbol in the top right. What languages do you speak?
Common and primordial.
Okay. So to you, all that you notice from this symbol is what it is. It's kind of like a backwards C, and then like underneath of it, halfway through, is another C. So it like connects in the middle, and then an arrow to the right.
So like 2 crescents, kind of. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that,
Okay.
and then an arrow.
Okay.
But apart from that, just the spiral of numbers.
I would not know what that means at all, would I?
Well, I'll send it to you, and you can tell me. Oh wow, an actual puzzle! It's so cool.
Oh. You're putting me on the spot here. I'm gonna have to solve it right now in front of everybody by myself.
You good luck
Speed
with
run,
that.
go.
Okay, there it is. Heskin kind of sees you like squinting at it and looking it over. He's like, "Yeah, it's really important. I knew it was."
Yeah, I'm gonna lean in closer to him, and Heskin is gonna kind of hear a combination of my voice physically and it ringing in his own head as I cast message again. Heskin, what does this mean?
You're casting this to Heskin?
Yeah, it's like I'm double talking to him.
Okay. Yeah. You whisper it into his brain, and you see him kind of like look around to see if anyone's eavesdropping in, and then kind of gets that like shit-eating grin that he has again, and he thinks back to you in a reply to the message, and he says, "I don't know what the numbers mean, but the symbol in the top right means invitation in thieves' cant."
Is that what it means? I say this just out loud to him.
Yeah.
Invitation to... And I just point at him.
Oh,
and raise my eyebrows.
Well, that's the thing, though. So it wasn't... I don't think it was to me. I found it. Like, nailed to a wall. And, like, I've been hearing things that there are lots more of them around. So it's really an invitation to anyone. But you have to understand what it means to know it's an invitation, you see? This could be big.
Did he steal this, or did he actually find this?
Roll an insight check.
14.
14? I mean, as far as you can tell, he seems to be telling the truth.
Yeah, I'll cast message back at him again. If you see more, let me know.
Okay. Yeah, alright, I will. What, are you keeping that? Because I'll... No, it's fine. You keep that one, I'll find another one.
Yeah, could I have this one?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I look out for my own, you know?
You saw a lot of them, you said, so it should be easy for you to find.
Well, yeah, I'll find another one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're good at this, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm good at a lot of things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I know you're a good egg huskin. I'll put in a good word for you with the crew.
Thank you.
You got
that's
it.
cool. You kind of hear a mouse, the little halfling kid, I kind of say, "Suck up," underneath of his breath, and Heskin kind of shoots a quick glare, and Mouse kind of giggles and shrinks away.
Yeah, I just flash mouse a wry smile. And grab the parchment and continue on my way.
Yeah. Where would Akan be going around this time?
Well, probably just to go check in with his crew. He's probably on his way anyway, so...
Okay, yeah. So you make your way to go and check out with your crew. As you go deeper into the city, passing by some of the more business district of the area, and as you do so, going along the road, you pass by a familiar shop that you pay no mind to because it's been there forever. The shop's name is Fizzle Pop Bang, and then underneath it says, "A shop of almost no explosions." And as you walk by it, we zoom in on another figure who is looking into the shop window at all of the merchandise. Something has caught their eye. Cryo, would you like to introduce your character?
Yeah. My character, Klein, is slim, small, teenage tiefling boy. They have dark teal skin to the point that it's almost black, and they have this sort of fluffy white hair that they keep back in a really short little ponytail. I don't know if I said they're 4'10", kind of leaned over a little bit. They have a really thin sort of little whip-like tail that, as they're looking at the item of interest in the window, just keeps kind of flicking back and forth, and just.
The item itself is this like gold chalice with like small jewels encrusted in the rim. You have a decent eye for the worth of things. Roll for me. Let's make this let's make this a straight intelligence roll.
11.
11, yeah.
No modifier.
You would wager this thing has probably got a value of at least upwards of 50 gold. But it does have a lid on top of it, and the lid is like chained to the bottom, to the underside. And that makes the monetary value in question, because you don't know what could be in the chalice.
Oh. Klein kind of kicks their foot and just he leans, checks it from several different angles, just nods. Da. I'll peek into the shop. Like, I'll properly like step in.
Okay, yeah.
Is there anyone in there? Anything going on?
Yeah, you step into the shop and you hear this ding 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 of a bell up above, and you hear from behind the counter. You hear someone say, "Just a minute," and then as walking around the side of the counter, you see a halfling man, probably early 30s, with his half crooked smile on his face, big thick brown mutton chops, and like a little bit of chin scruff. Curly auburn hair that kind of poofs out a little bit, that matches his warm brown eyes, that are framed by these wrinkle lines that are carved onto his face from a life of laughing. These small like half moon glasses rest on his curved nose. He's wearing these like simple clothes that have kind of little style, and they don't fit very well, but he's clearly very comfortable and carefree about most everything.
I forgot to mention Klein is just wearing like capri pants and like a loose flowy shirt and a vest.
Mm-hmm.
They do not. He does not wear shoes.
Yeah, you see the figure come around the side, and he says, "All right there, young man. What can I do for you today?"
Guten Tag. I like your store.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's a family store, see. I inherited it from my father, and well, I put a lot of time and work into keeping it, as prim and pristine as I possibly can. You kind of see he is gently like moving the counter door closed behind him, and he's kind of standing in the way. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 14.
14, yeah. So you can see beyond, there's like this office where he clearly like assesses the value of things, or may very well enchant certain objects if he feels the need to do so. And this shop, you've seen it around a couple of times. It is a magic item shop. But the thing that catches your eye that he's kind of like shrugging to get in the way of is this like piece of paper that is on a low desk, because he's a halfling, and the piece of paper says, "Meeteth bodacious bodies neareth you." It's like a dating flyer, basically. He's just kind of like trying to get in the way, or so you don't quite see it.
Klein is just... Oh, a pretty lady down the road told me this shop is the best shop for any cool items. She said the very handsome man here would sell me good things.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I don't know about that. Who was that? What was her name?
Klein does not know. Chryolain? Carolina.
Oh, right. I don't suppose you remember.
She's just around corner.
Well, what does she look like, though? Right? What's going on with that?
She's pretty human lady. She's tall.
Yeah.
She's sort of vavoom.
Oh my! Well, that's very interesting. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. Maybe that's I. Well, I'll think about
the
that.
corner.
A bit later.
Do you want to see?
What, like right now?
is anyone else in the shop? Klein like looks around.
Currently, no. It's just you.
I love him.
Duh.
Oh my god.
Oh, kind of looks around.
Is you do business right now? Like as you gesturing around.
It kind of looks behind to like a small ticking clock on the back end of the shop. Well, I should handle you first. Are you looking to buy anything right now, or?
Klein would like appraisal.
An appraisal on something? Yeah, of course, yeah. That, you know what, that might take some time. So why don't you give me the item to appraise, and I'll just put it in the back real quick, and maybe we can you just keep browsing, see if anything else that you like, and he's kind of like walking towards the door at this point, and you know, I'll just be 2 minutes tops. Just I can trust you, right? You're a nice young man.
Da.
Make a deception check.
Let's go. I'm good at these. 18 plus 8, 26.
And I'll just be ding ding ding. He runs off outside the street.
The moment he's out, my tail just whips up and grabs this chalice and just tosses it like into like a bag at my hip.
Yeah, it's.
I don't move otherwise. Like I stay dead still in the spot, just smiling, but say like no change in appearance or anything.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
I'll do that.
Sleight of hand check for cool.
Sleight of tail
13
check?
plus 3.
So, yeah, easy enough. You just very Nightcrawler style. You just zigzag your tail out and then wrap it around the chalice, and it's gone.
And then I just stand there and I wait for him to come back.
Yeah, it takes a couple minutes before he comes back, and he runs back and he's like, "Oh, I didn't. She must have gone. She must have very busy, I'm sure. But I will
Oh,
make
I'm
note
sorry.
of that. Either Carol or Carolyn or Carolina. Yes. It's not important anyway. But more
Klein
important
will
is
tell
what-
the room lady if Klein sees again that what is your name?
Oh, my name's Humbert. Humbert
That
Fizzlenook.
Humbert is nice man.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Klein. That's very kind of you. Yeah, just, yeah. He kind of like fixes his chin scruff a little bit. So, what was the item you wanted appraised?
Oh, yes. I dig in to my little bag real quick and I just pull out what am I gonna pass off here? I pull out a candle and I go, Klein found in magical ruins in south.
It's just like a
Special
regular
candle? It's just a regular candle.
Okay, so you hand it over and he goes, "Oh my!" He kind of fixes his half moon glasses. Oh, that is very interesting. Give me...
Klein would like dinner tonight.
Oh.
Right. Okay. Why don't you? I'm going to take this to the back, and you give me just a couple seconds, and I will be right back with that. And he
Bro,
just
this
kind
is the best character you've ever made.
Da.
he disappears off into the office, and you watch him kind of sit down on that chair in front of the bench and lay out the candle, and kind of whiff his fingers through the air. A small arcane circle of this like warm orange color just begins slowly rotating in the air, and you watch as the candle kind of lifts for a second and rotates a couple ways and then puts back down, and then he kind of like stands back up, and he picks it up and he walks back out and he says, "Wow, this is a very special candle, isn't it? Where did you say you found it from? What kind of ruins?"
Ruins in south. This farmhouse, like burned down. Only candle left.
You burned down the farmhouse?
No.
Oh,
It was burned down when Klein got there.
oh, I misunderstood. Sorry. That's all right. Wow.
Klein is not arsonist.
Good. Yeah, that's great. Well, it's a very special candle, so I'm gonna give you 3 silver for it. And you know he's way over giving you. He's giving you way too much for this.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I will do my best to sell this well. You give him a hug, and he's like, "Oh God, oh well, that's very kind of you."
Dankeschön.
You are welcome, young man. And he hands over 3 silver.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
And he kind of
Walk
watches you walk out, and then you walk out, and do you look back or do you just keep going?
I don't look back until I'm a good distance down the street, and I can kind of sidestep into an alley and just be like,
Yeah, so you disappear off in the alley. You kind of, by the time you've walked away, you just see him like walking back into the office, like retreating back there and and sitting down. Who knows what he's gonna do with this candle? But there you go.
Once I am a few streets away and not possibly an eye shot of him, my tail just flicks the thing out, and I just catch it and start fiddling with it.
Yeah, you see, it's a chalice about that big. It looks to be probably around 50, 75 gold. But the lid like has 2 chains on either side that go underneath the bottom of the chalice and get stuck there. It may have an unlocking mechanism somewhere in it. But you will have to investigate it to see if you can discover out how that works.
I just sit there and look at it for a little bit before I put it away, just being like, shiny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you hold it and rub it, you
silver.
can feel something is inside of it, but you don't know what it is.
Let's go. Then I pull out the silver and I'm like, look down. Kind can buy shoes. that's
Yeah.
I just wander now, just kind of like looking around.
As you wander off further and further, we're going to shift our attention over to the top of a bell tower that is within the center of the city. Standing on top of this bell tower are solitary 2 figures. The first is a slender figure, mostly covered up with like a wide-brimmed hat, who is like kind of sitting on a stool at the back end of it, feet kicked up on the edge of like the railing, head down and fiddling with a piece of paper. Standing next to them, looking out into the city and noticing what appears to be a young tiefling person leave a shop, followed by the shopkeeper themselves, kind of looking at this candle that they now have and going, and then walking back and retreating. Noah, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah. So I am playing a early 20s at best. A Ergonasi who is very just pale isn't the right term. He is basically desaturated. If you were to look at his skin or his hair, it just looks like the man exists in monochrome. He's got sort of like medium short hair that's all kind of pushed back in like one, I mean, for lack of a better term, gust of wind kind of put back. And he's touting a staggeringly large rifle, especially given the time period that it's in. And so, yeah, he's kind of like sitting there, arm propped up on like the ledge as he looks at it and goes, well, that looks interesting.
You found something, huh?
Yeah.
Well, define
I'm pretty sure
interesting.
that man does not know the value of a candle.
You see the figure behind you kind of tilt their eye up to look over at where you're looking. And without getting up, just kind of has a general idea of where you're looking at. They kind of like sit there and think for a second. Fizzle pop bang, huh? Which is the name of the shop.
Yeah. He just kind of nods. Mm.
Yeah, that dude has he's got too much of a soft heart, especially for this kind of city.
I mean, it's nice. It looked like it was just a kid.
Well, whatever floats his boat, I guess. Hey, come here, take a look at this.
Like kicks up and like puts the rifle down. I should have established he was looking through the scope.
Yeah. You kind of saunter over, and the figure holds out this piece of paper to you, and on it you see this spiral number pattern. What do you speak or understand?
I speak Common, Elvish, and Thieves' Cant.
So you would understand the icon in the top right to mean invitation.
Yeah, he looks at it and goes, "Invitation?"
Yeah, that's what I got too, but to what, I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine. Looks like it could be every day of the last few months, for all I really know.
Yeah, but picture this. The person who wrote this is at least somewhat sophisticated. It's clearly some kind of cipher, and they know what they're doing. My contact in the Nippers told me that these appeared in the city today. Roll a history check for me.
Sure. Oh, okay. My Discord has tried to escape my screen entirely. That's fun. History. Wow. All right. Let's hope a straight roll is good enough. Hey, 14. Not bad.
Well, see, yeah, you've heard of the Nippers before. The character in front of you has been christened amongst the general city and the community beyond it as the Spark Slayer. But you know their name to be Felder.
Gotcha.
Felder does not work for the Nippers, but they do work with the Nippers occasionally. They are this large underground organization of thieves and bandits that are the most prominent here in the city. And although they don't hold like major sway, they do have a general idea of most of the go-arounds and goings-on of what's happening.
Any of them been able to crack even a little bit what's going on with this?
Probably not. They're all a bunch of fucking dumbasses.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, they name themselves the Nippers. Who the hell names themselves? That's not scary.
No. In fact, I feel like I've heard people insult each other calling them that.
I don't know. Probably. But seriously, though, take a look at it. I don't know if I'm looking at it right. Some of these numbers are backwards. Some of them are forwards. You know what? I tell you what. You figure this out. It's all yours.
Just mine.
I mean, unless you need help.
You know, give me that. He like takes the paper.
I will give you till the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah, I got it. he walks back over to hit the side of the tower that he was looking over, and he's like looking at every which way. He's holding it backwards, holding it up to the sun, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the parchment that it's on. Roll an investigation check for me.
Sure. 9.
9. Best you can tell, it's a piece of parchment with some writing on it.
Great. Given that I've had, Thieves' Cant and been working under Felder for a bit, Are there any known ciphers that I could use to maybe get some headway on it?
Interesting. Roll. Just roll a d20 and add your intelligence.
Okay. That is a 16.
16. Yeah. I'm going to give you a hint towards figuring this out. This is really interesting for you guys. I know. It's crazy.
It's okay. It happens all the time. There's always a moment when you're playing a tabletop game via the internet where you have to send a message to somebody instead of whispering across the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody just gets the vibe. Hello, people at home.
Hello.
I guess we are all people at home, Grace. That's fair.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm like, you're telling me this, and now I'm like, all right, hang on. I actually gotta scan this. Can you go to somebody else? Can you go to somebody else? Because all I've really got is to actually think on this now.
Sure can. We're gonna go back to Grace. I don't think you named your character out loud.
Once.
Oh, you did?
Out of character. Character's name is Det. D-E-T-T.
So we're going to go back to Det and Lithrain. As you are perched on... Would you go for an outside table or an inside table?
Weather's nice. Outside table.
Hell yeah. In this little seaside cafe, surveying the people that go by. You guys just enjoying your meal. And the weather around you. Is there anything on Det's mind?
Probably a little bit concerned, thinking about stuff back home. But otherwise, not really. Soaking in the weather, trying to ignore the noise of the crowd a little bit, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see, Lithrain kind of has this, like, what is essentially a buffed up fantasy croissant, and is gently picking it apart and taking little bites of it. She's not airheaded, but she does kind of seem to get distracted with her thoughts. And as you guys are just kind of sitting there enjoying the breeze, she says, "I wonder where I'll sleep tonight."
You wonder where you're going to sleep tonight?
Well, yeah, I don't know anywhere here. You know?
That's fair. We can look for an inn. Or I can look for an inn while you're working. Whatever that hand gesture just was.
Sure, I'll go working, and you can go look for an inn. Try... I don't want to... Try to, you know, really not bump into anyone this time. Technically, he bumped into you, I know.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to get overwhelmed and have a hard time and, you know...
I get overwhelmed, I turned into a squirrel, I run away, it's fine.
Yeah, well, that's good. I think, actually, I'm going to set up right here. And she kind of just points over to the... a little bit further towards the docks, where the people are moving pretty freely through. You know, I'm thinking dock workers. There's got to be a lot of people here. I'll just play a few tunes and see what I can scrounge up, you know?
Yeah. I point out that you are likely to get a lot more money from the fancier district that we were passing through, but...
Make a persuasion check.
Ah, yes. Persuasion. I am not terrible at that, actually. 14.
14. Maybe you're right. But the people there were such assholes.
That is
You know?
so fair. Hey, whatever floats your boat.
You know what? No, you're right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do here for an hour, and then I'm going to do there for an hour, and then I'm going to compare, and I'll be in one of the two places for the rest of the night.
There you go.
So just, whenever you're done, come find me, and tell me where we're sleeping, because I don't know otherwise.
Gotcha.
Are you sure you're going to be good?
I'll manage.
All right. Well, she kind of like dusts off her clothes a little bit. Wish me luck. And does like a big lean back and then and just jumps up onto her feet and just skips away. You see her go off maybe like 60, 80 feet. Find a nice little alcove and take off her pack and just start unpacking like a cloth on the ground. Pull out her flute. Put down this cap that she has and put it like upside down for people to throw change in. And she begins playing on the flute.
Okay. Deck's gonna go looking for somewhere for us to stay. Can I argue for a survival check to try and navigate through this place?
Yeah, if you're spending enough time like really like digging into the different streets and where they are, yeah, absolutely you can roll survival.
Oh fuck yeah, let's go. 21.
21? Yeah.
No, 24. I can't do math.
Oh, dude. It doesn't take you long to find a few inns, actually. There's one that's a little fancier that kind of rests near the... this, like, large walled-off building that has, like, a very fancy appearance in the center of these, like, square walls. You're not quite sure if that's like royalty or some kind of governing thing here in this city, because you are still new. But you find a hotel not too far off that is a little bit pricey. You keep, walking around and seeing what else you can find while you're out here. You do find a theater, a nice jeweler's that you think might be interesting for the fanciful folk. And right by that theater, you see kind of like these set up market stalls of like tents and like wooden like shop stalls that kind of sell bits and bobs. You walk around a little more as you go further north. Right before you hit another river, you find a park. That river is kind of like the same essence as the one that you crested when you were towards the southern side of the city. And it actually heads towards the west, which you find interesting because the river that you found earlier was it headed from east to west. And it looked like it kind of headed up north as well. So there is maybe a point where they meet each other. You also, as you walk around... kind of finding your way through the city, the thing that building that you saw earlier, the very large, impressive one at the end of that high street, you go back and just take a look at it, and you can see what it is because it has a twin branch in Trestle, where you last were. That bank where you were in Trestle, that was called the Iron Bands of Krem. And this particular bank you see on a plaque mounted at the front is called the Steel Bands of Krem. You also, having experience with the opposing branch, know that Krem is the owner of it. And you kind of make a mental note for that later. And keep you wandering through. Eventually, you do find a more reasonably priced inn. It's somewhere north of that bank, sort of resting on the northern river. And it's more moderately priced, perhaps a little less quality, But for you, that's fine because all you can see it as is a little less pompous. And we'll say for purposes here, that one will run you 2 silver a night for a room for both you and Lithrain. The other one will run you, we'll say 8 silver a night. Just depends on how you want to, how nice you want your sleep to be.
Mm-hmm. All right. Since that didn't take too long, Det's gonna look around a little bit more, to see what's around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, maybe check out those market stalls a little bit by the theater. Investigate. Sure. Lith will probably like that, so...
Yeah, you find, in going through those little market stalls, you find basically peddlers of random bits and bobs. You find, like, this very slightly aged, like, elderly, but was definitely very beautiful in her youth, like, pinkish red-skinned tiefling lady who makes these, like, small little handcrafted bits of jewelry, like these little beads that she makes out of seashells and little rocks that she attaches onto little strings and then makes bracelets out of them. Necklaces that are made from crab claws and like small conch shells, just like little weird knickknacks. You see on the other side there is like an older human man, not older, but like maybe like mid-50s, early 60s, human man who kind of just has like this standing drapery above him, but he's sitting on a floor, like on the floor on a rug, and has a classic like 3 cups in front of him, and is just beckoning people to come in and try and win at his game, and he has like a small crowd in front of him. There's another there's like a food stand right nearby that makes maybe like a little greasy for sandwiches, but they're sandwiches and they're cheap. It's like gas station food, it always tastes really good if the hygiene isn't 100%.
Gotcha.
And yeah, people come and go and they pick up things and they leave. You kind of see like a group of teenagers who like walk by in a crowd and look over to the guy who's doing the cups with the rock underneath of it, and you hear one of them say, "I know how that's done." And like one of the girls next to him like punches him and says, "No, you don't." He's like, "Yes, I do," and they just keep walking off and going.
Apparently, even the teenagers are assholes here. All right. That'll bite. That'll go play the game.
Yeah, you walk over and
bored.
he's currently like facing off against like this lanky tall bugbear man, and he's in the middle of shaking the cups, and he just immediately stops them and says, "Which one?" And the bugbear kind of like, "This one," and points to the one on the right, and he lifts up the cup and there's nothing under there and he goes, "You lose!" And the bugbear kind of like throws his arms down and bullshit and just walks off. The guy on the floor calls out again and says, "Who's next to play me in the Cups of Death?"
Cups of Death?
Yeah, it's just a dramatic title, really.
Bit much, don't you think?
You tell me, you're here.
I'm bored.
1 silver to play.
Alright.
Okay. You hand over a silver, and he lifts up the 3 cups. You see that the stone is in the middle cup. Puts them down. He starts moving them slowly. It goes to the right. He moves the other 2 around. He puts it back in the middle. He moves the middle and the left one around. He moves the out 2 around. And he begins to pick up speed. Roll a perception check.
What is my perception? I just looked at it. Nope, that's perception. I apologize. I'm illiterate, apparently. 18.
18. He's moving the cups around pretty quick, and you are pretty sure by the time he's done, it's in the left cup. So where will it be?
Loot? That's not my name. Holy shit. Dad's gonna point to the left one.
He lifts up the cup after a moment of suspense, and the stone is in there. He pulls it in his back pocket and hands you 2 silver back.
Hey.
A victory for the pretty lady. Want to go again?
Oh, thank you. I have to get back to my friend, but that's very kind of you.
Well, you know where I'll
Fun
be. And so you leave. You begin heading back to Lithuania. As you go on your journey, we're going to zip over to the docks, where we find our last figure. Standing and talking to a friend of yours. You are sitting in front of the ship known as the Moontide's Wake. This ship is small, but it is speedy, and it runs a small crew operated by the captain, Esso Vorm. Captain Vorm is a tall Goliath man with kind of prickly black hair that is very short and kind of stands up on its end. But he's stoic and very tall, wearing this like long blue coat with brown outlines on it. And he's standing and talking next to Barely. Would you like to describe your character?
Sure. So my character is a half-orc man, around his 40s. He has black hair. The sides are shaved and pulled back into a top knot, and a nice bushy beard. You'll notice that he has graying roots, showing signs of age as well. He's equipped with very fancy armor, I'll say, adorned with golds and greens, sea greens, and things like that. And on his left eye, he has a scar, and he can be seen sometimes having a cigar in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you are both looking at the ship, you see the crew kind of bringing a few boxes off, and Vorm, without turning to look at you, is just looking at the ship. Says to you out loud, he says, "We're going to depart again in probably 3 days. We have another merchant run to do, going back up to Jernrohr for steel supplies. If you'd like, you can join the crew, and I will incorporate your share into payment. But of course, if you have other things to do, that Akan is always looking for your help. I won't hold it against you."
Yes, perhaps some time to think.
Well,
I
you
don't
have
want
time.
to make a rash decision.
Of course, we've got a little bit of time left. I'll assure you this: it's a straight run. We're not going near the Broken Empire at all. So it should be a quick in and out.
How much would I know about raiders or pirates between this area and that area?
So if you look on the map, Jernrohr is this town that is like all the way at the top in Eisenra. Eisenra is the country to the north. The Broken Empire is a little bit more east than that. So if you hug the coast, going past the Bloodpine and Featherwing Bay, you shouldn't really get interference from the Broken Empire. If you were to take a wider berth and go out a little bit more, you might run into some pirates, you might not.
Okay.
If you're going to hit them anywhere, it's going to be on that stint from the easternmost point of the Featherwing Bay straight over to Jernrohr.
All right.
Esho, how do you plan to travel? Are you gonna stay close to the coast or try to make a straight shot?
We'll hug the coast as best we can. This time of year, and especially that far north, I don't think that any rogue factions will intercept us if we go from Featherwing to Yarnroar, but we're going to keep an eye out anyway. 2 cannons are going to be manned. Should be all we need. I'm not going to outfit us more than that.
Yes, well, again, I will let you know by tonight what my plans are. I think even without me, you would be alright.
Well, it's a straight run, but the coin is there if you need it. What's your passive perception?
That is a 13.
Yeah, so when you arrived here at the dock, nothing seemed out of the ordinary at all. You know, you kind of met up with Captain Vorm and began talking. And now you look over to your right, and pinned to one of the poles holding up this part of the dock is a small piece of parchment. Just pinned there. It wasn't. You could swear it wasn't there like 20 minutes ago.
Ulfgar will go over and grab the paper.
Do you speak Thieves' Cant?
I do not.
Then you understand nothing except for that it's a spiral of numbers.
Captain, did you put this piece of paper on here?
Kind of frowns his brow. No. I honestly did not know that that was there.
Do you know what any of this means?
He kind of looks there for a second. Looks like a bunch of numbers to me. It's probably just some kids. I wouldn't pay it any mind.
You know, Hakan is pretty smart. Maybe I'll bring it to him and see what he thinks.
It's probably a good idea. Listen, you know where to find me if you decide to join us on our expedition. But until then, I must get to work.
Thank you very much, Captain.
And he'll go in for the, the half arm handshake.
Yeah. The muscles bulge in both your biceps as you interlock hands, or hands and arms, and
Bro.
yeah, there's like a steely man gaze between the two of you before he nods his head and then walks off towards the ship. The other thing that you get with your 13 perception is you do hear a little bit of music being played, which is a little uncommon for this part of the city.
Okay.
Music. I haven't heard that since I was with my crew. Oh, the shanties that they had. Maybe I'll go give it a glance.
And he'll go investigate the music.
Sure, yeah. You go over and investigate. Akan, you wander around a bit and you go to search for your crew before you also begin hearing music.
Am I in the docks?
You're pretty near the docks, yeah.
So it would be.
It would definitely be a bit of a detour from where you would normally go towards your destination, but hearing street performers here, especially one that is pretty good, is a little unusual.
What instrument am I hearing?
Roll a performance check.
19.
19. It is a flute.
I will fish my own flute out of my bag, and I will start playing in harmony with it as I approach the source of the music.
Yeah, so you go and walk towards the source as well. Ulfgar, you crest the corner and you see this figure, this young Eladrin woman, playing for a couple people. The music hasn't been going on for that long, and already she's drawing a slight crowd. And as you approach, you see her kind of clock you, and then keep going, focusing on the performance. It's nice music. She's clearly very talented at what she's doing. And then you begin to pick up on the sound of other music accompanying it. And you see her eyes dart to where the source of that is. And walking towards, you see your friend slowly approaching, playing his own music. And she kind of acknowledges this and begins to pick up the pace on her tune. Are you going to try and match her?
You know it.
So we're going to do some contested performance checks here to see if you can keep up with the DC that she's setting.
Fabulous.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your first performance check.
First one, natural 2, 13.
Okay. She begins to pick up the tune on the flute, and it goes from this like jovial sort of happy, almost sailorish song and melody to more of an intense, like, it would almost be like if you were picturing yourself as a sailor, it would be from you going on a boat, charting the ship out to waters and enjoying the weather, to a storm is encroaching and it's time to get serious. And as she's heightening the tempo, I didn't play music, you guys. As she's like increasing the whatever, you try and keep up, and you are falling behind. And you see out of the corner of her eye, like a slight crack of a smile appear on her face. She kind of keeps the melody there for a minute. Do you want to try and regain your position with her, or do you want to try and lead the song in a different direction? The second will be a higher DC.
Yeah, I can't take that slight to my ego. So I'm going to start marching forward, and I'm going to start playing the flute in like a totally different mode.
Okay.
Just to see if I can force it.
Go ahead and roll your performance check.
You ever see that video of the guy playing saxophone on the subway?
Oh, hell yeah.
And then the other guy joins him?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's like a fucking
suddenly the other
saxophone.
dude
That's
stands
the
up.
energy I'm getting from this right now.
Yeah, well, I think right now this Eladrin is about to walk all over me because I just rolled a nat 1.
Oh,
that
no.
one. Yeah, you try and take the tune in a different direction.
I overblow, and it just like
It
Yeah.
just squeaks.
it just cracks.
You
Yeah.
kind of try and bring this back to port, and instead you oversteer, and you lean too far into notes that shouldn't go there, and you find your fingers getting slippery from the sweat of this intense performance, and you are misplaying. And she is just loving it, and she is dominating the tune now. She's going to try and go for the big finish. You can try and catch up if you want.
I gotta pull it back. You know what? I'm gonna try to like start dancing while I do it.
Okay.
Just gonna start like fancy footwork, foot loose in place as I dance forward up next to her as I try to regain my composure on the flute.
Yeah, go ahead and roll performance one last time.
All right. So I rolled a 2 and then I rolled a 1. Can't roll a 0. Yeah, that's a lot better. 27.
27.
Jesus Christ.
You beat her out by 1 point. She got a 26.
Ooh.
As she heightens the music to that big climactic finish, you see the crowd are far more invested in her than they are in you at this point, and you start to divert the attention onto you. Your playing picks up. You steel yourself, and there's something about immersing yourself in the dance of the performance that really helps you lock in your focus, and you begin to catch up to her, and you are now playing in tandem. As the music comes to a climax, the last note hits and ends, and there is a brief moment of silence before the small crowd of about 4 or 5 starts clapping. Most of them are a little more enraptured by her, but some are now definitely paying attention to you. And you don't even notice Ulfgar like standing there. Instead, you just notice her as she pulls the flute down and grins and says, thank you everyone. You've been mighty kind. That was something else." And she turns to you, and you see this like young, like very pretty, very holding herself highly, kind of airy Eladrin is looking at you with wide eyes and admiring the goal that it took for you to come back at the end.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do kind of a shallow bow. Well met. Took a while for me to catch up there, but I think I just about managed to get on that counterpoint with you in the last verse.
Well, don't worry. I've been told that I'm hard to keep up with. It's all right.
So I should be honored.
Sure, you should be honored. And she kind of like does a gentle bow back to you.
Akan.
Lithrain. She holds out her hand.
Yeah, I take it, I shake it. And I just, not a lot of busking in the docks. What are you doing here?
I'm testing the waters, as it was. Where did you put your piece of paper?
Just in my backpack.
Okay. She kind of looks over your shoulder a little bit. And then just looks back to you. Well, I was told that maybe I should try more of the business district. Outside that big, tall, brutish building is probably where I'm better off. But what can I say? I have a soft heart for sailors. Oh God, you are just watching this interaction happen like from 10 feet away.
He just keeps watching for now.
Okay. Would I know what she's referring to? That big brutish building and the business district?
You have a general sense it's probably the bank.
You mean the Krem Bank?
Yeah, the steel bands of Krem.
So, I'm just going to respond. You're referring to the steel bands of Krem. Well, those bankers are actually quite miserly with their coin.
Oh, if that's what it's called, then yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Might do better in the areas around that one, but not in the heart of that district, no.
Oh, well, perhaps you should show me where to go then.
Can I tell if she's new to the city or not?
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Sure. Yeah, 17.
Yeah, it appears that she's being truthful in her lack of knowledge about the city, so you would wager she's probably fairly new, yeah.
Yeah. New in town, right?
However could you tell?
Well, the part where you had no idea where to play kind of gave it away.
I was just testing the area. Actually, I just came from that cafe over there. She points down towards a cafe that's kind of over the road, probably 70 or 80 feet away. As you turn to look, and you look back, she is not there. You feel something tug at your back. Ulfgar, did you look at the cafe when she pointed?
I don't know that I would have been able to hear her if I'm standing 10 feet away. I'm just watching their interaction.
You probably wouldn't
there's a
be able
reason
to
why.
hit.
Then he
I'd say
probably
you
would
could.
have looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you turn and look back, and you see she's pulling a piece of paper out of Akan's backpack. She like opens it up. My, what is this random thing that you have?
I spin around. Hey, give me that.
She like pulls it back as you go and reach for it.
Do
Well,
you
you
make a
know
habit
so
of-
much about me, and I know nothing about you. figured we could make this a little more fair.
Ulfgar is going to start slowly approaching, kind of being on guard.
Do you let her have it?
I'm eyeing her up, kind of with an eyebrow raised, and just, do you make it a habit out of pulling random objects out of people's backpacks, the Thrain?
Only if I like him. As she turns and begins inspecting the piece of paper. She kind of begins walking up and down a little bit. Ah, I see. Little numerical code, eh? Well, whatever could it mean?
No idea.
You mean you haven't figured it out yet?
Have you?
I've only been looking at it for about 30 seconds. She's kind of locked in this conversation with you and walking back and forth. She kind of walks right up in front of Ulfgar and doesn't realize he's there until the last minute and kind of stops and looks up at you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was immersed in conversation.
That's all right. Did you take that from my friend Hakan? Is everything okay?
Well, this new musical partner of mine seems to have sticky fingers.
And Ulfgar's going to walk over to Hakan then, and he's going to slap him up on the back. And Ulfgar's a little stronger than, he just hits him a little harder than he intends to.
Well, you really came through there in the last moments there, and are you snagging a date right now?
Right now, I'm just trying to snag my parchment back. Are you talking to the captain down here?
Yes, well, we can talk about that a little later. We need that paper back, right? Hey, speaking of paper, I have something to show you, too.
And he'll pull out the piece of paper that he found on the docks.
It is exactly
I
the
found
same.
I found this piece of paper, and the number 16, 4.
And it's a backwards 4, right?
Sure. 0.
And he just keeps going on listing the numbers.
Yes, that's... Wow. These are way easier to come by than I thought.
In that case, I'm taking this one. And she pockets it.
Fine. Don't let me stop you. If you could figure it out, maybe you could do me the favor of letting me know.
Well, if I see you around, I can. Maybe I will.
Can I be coming back?
Sure can.
Liz, did you pick up another one?
I think that has yet to be seen.
Oh, God. All right.
She like chuckles slyly. Well, fellas, my real date is here, so it was nice to meet you. And time to go find a new spot to perform.
Date? How could she hear me? I was whispering.
Ulfgar definitely doesn't whisper.
Are they walking away now?
She's just meeting up with the new lady.
Yeah. Message. Just a quick remember. Tell me if you find out.
Yeah, she does not respond, but she turns, like, grinning at you and gives you a wink.
Yeah.
Do you want to know where we're staying or not, Liz?
Absolutely. And she kind of puts her
Stop
arm
flirting,
under yours.
then.
She puts her arm into yours, and you guys just begin walking off.
Right. 2 options. One is 8 silver a night, one is 2 silver a night.
She kind of jingles
How fancy you feeling?
the coins in the hat. I think the 8 silver is probably where it's at.
All right. That means we're staying in the pompous area, then.
Oh, fancy.
Oh, yeah, it's very fancy.
Yeah, as you guys go ahead and make your way over there.
What you got there? Looks at the paper.
This weird thing that the slightly musical man had on him before. It's some kind of code, but I don't know what it means yet.
Ooh, puzzle. Let me see.
She shows you this piece of parchment.
Right. So what we seeing? Been able to discern anything so far?
Well, I see a lot of numbers, and some of them are backwards, but I don't know the
see
significance of them.
Hmm. Interesting.
Well, we've got all night to figure it out.
Oh, yes, we do.
And you guys begin heading off to the inn where you were staying at. So, we have Det and Lithrain going towards the inn. Akan and Ulfgar are meeting up and doing their thing. Glitch's character, who I don't remember if we named,
We have not said that out loud yet.
is trying to decipher this parchment, and we are left with Klein, who we will catch up with after this small break. So, we'll be back here in, well, for you guys it'll be like that, but for us it'll be a couple minutes. So, that's what we'll do. Hey, bye! Welcome back. So, let's jump back into Klein. What does Klein do?
Klein finds wherever they have stashed their stuff while they were sort of wandering around, because they have their bag with like they have like their big backpack with like their weapons and traveling supplies and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they would stash their newest find in the bag, like the bigger bag, and sort through what he has.
Yeah. What kind of
then I
things
probably-
does Klein have?
Hmm?
What kind of things does Klein have in his stash?
Oh, Klein mostly has just stuff for traveling. A little coin purse that he doesn't always keep on him for sake of not being robbed by other thieves. And then he's got a shield and this kind of basic but pretty well kept looking war hammer that looks like it's too big for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a bag, like I said, just of like traveling supplies, like the bedroll and blanket and everything. He always tries to find a place to just tuck it away when he gets in a new place. So like hidden little corners or like under houses in the crawl spaces and that sort of thing. So this one's probably in like a back alley or something underneath boxes or around crates.
Sure, yeah.
He just gathers everything up and like puts the bag on, and goes strolling. Goes looking for, I said Klein could buy shoes. Maybe I'll go looking for shoes.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I don't have a lot of money, so I will not look in nice areas. I will avoid the nice areas of the city.
So you look in sort of towards the outskirts of the city, in an attempt to find a cobbler. Roll, I guess, survival. Yeah, we're doing it.
Guess what?
Survival.
Survival? I have a +1 and I rolled a 9. So 10.
You are struggling to find a cobbler. You do not
That's
find
unfortunate. It's fine. Klein's been barefoot the time. Klein will be fine. Klein eventually walking around and it's just like, that's 9 shoes. Looks down disappointed. Just whines. I'll head towards the docks purely to sit by the water, and on my way I'll try and find like a food stall.
Sure, yeah. From where you are on the outskirts, and going through, yeah, I'll say it doesn't take long for you to kind of come towards the like middle-ish part of the city. As you walk by, you do come across like a cluster of stalls. One of them on the end appears to sell fish and chips. It's a seaside town, fish and chips.
Yo. Walk up. What What race is the shop owner, the stall owner?
The stall owner here is just a human guy. Looks like early 40s, late 30s. Kind of like thinning hair. He's got a little bit of a bald spot on the top. Kind of like this dirty blonde. He's got a little bit of a beer belly.
Okay. Klein like looks at all the food, mouth kind of watering, a little thing of drool just right in the corner, and then he's just like, in Elvish, presuming this guy doesn't speak it, just is like, "Can I have this?"
The guy replies to you in Elvish, and says, "For 5 copper."
Damn, he knows Elvish. Yeah, sure. I'll give him 5 copper.
Yeah.
I'll ask if he can break a silver.
Sure, yeah, he breaks a silver. That's fine.
Sick.
Gives you 5 copper back and a big thing of fish and chips.
Awesome. I'll take it to the docks. I won't eat it until I get there, and then I'll just sit by the water and eat, and occasionally throw chips at passing birds.
As you leave the stall and begin making your way to the docks, you do see pinned to the outside of the stall a piece of paper with like a weird spiral on it.
I just point at it like and look at the stall owner.
Yeah, he kind of just like is not doing anything. Do you speak Thieves' Cant?
I don't.
And then you don't know. He's not really
Paper
even
off,
acknowledging
and I
it.
hold it up to him, like just point again, like with a confused look on my face.
Yeah, he kind of like frowns his face at you and is kind of like looking over the paper. He replies in Elvish. He's like, "I don't know what that is."
In common this time, just that was on your stall.
Well, some limey gets put that there. Wasn't me. You know what? Take it away and dispose of it somewhere.
Hold it close and just walk away like a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just sit and look at it while I eat.
Yeah, you go ahead and perch down on the docks.
Circles.
Kind of like nestled in between 2 larger vessels, your feet dangling off the side. You have your thing of chips next to you, and you kind of see a seagull just like come and sit next to you.
Pull the food closer and just
Yeah, it kind of like tilts its head and just hops a little closer.
Kleins.
What sounds does the seagull make? Goes, eek! That's what it says. Do you do anything to shoo the seagull away or invite it in or what?
Give it 1 chip, and then if it tries to go for more, I like whip it with my tail.
Yeah, you do you hand it a chip or do you throw it a chip?
I toss it a chip.
Okay, you toss it and it just goes and scoops it up and is just gone.
Yeah, I just hang out, eat my well-earned lunch, and read whatever this is.
Yeah, I'll send you the thing.
Sick. Whenever I'm done eating, I will just hop up and you know, I think I will just play. Actually, I won't hop up. I'll keep sitting. I'll just pull out and play my dulcimer.
Okay, yeah. So you sit there and just begin like plucking to yourself. Nothing performatory, just to
Having a good time.
yeah,
Oh
just
my
really
god.
focusing on yourself here. Great. So Klein is going to sit in the docks for a little bit. Let's peek back into Glitch.
Hi.
I will say, would you have tried to figure out the cipher on the bell tower with Felder there, or
Yeah,
would you have?
I think he's just like curled up at like he's just curled up in his little perch, like legs are just kicked up, and he's like,
Yeah,
you think it's like a?
Go ahead.
He's just like I think it. You think it's like a shift cipher? Or do you think it's like a?
You tell me.
He's got like his notebook on one leg and the paper on the other, and he's gone through like 6 or 7 different theories at this point.
Yeah, it's like the next hour is like ticking on.
Yeah.
Felder's just like put the hat over their head, and just like relaxing there.
Equa, this is where I'm gonna ask. Above the table, do you want me to say out the answer or?
No, I just got it.
Yeah, don't say it out loud.
All right.
I want to do the puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Like he slaps his notebook down on the like on the ground next to him, picks up his rifle, looks through the scope, and he points over, at a location he's become privy of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you look over that way. This kind of catches the attention of Felder, who hears the notebook being slapped down on the floor of the bell tower and lifts the hat and peeks over. That's pretty good. Wow, I am impressed. And then stands up, and for the first time you see them like stand up in this campaign. They are tall and slender, but you know there's definition under there. They are a strong person, and they look over to where you're looking. Wouldn't have been my first guess, but there we go.
Yeah, weird not to sign it though, even with the code name.
Well, that means that the person doesn't want to be found. I assume until later.
Yeah. For now, I can. Can I roll perception to see if I can pick up on anything currently happening in the area? I assume it's like midday.
Yeah, it's about midday. Roll perception.
Alrighty. 21.
21. You look over in that direction. There's nothing particular of note that catches your eye. You just survey the buildings. You have no idea which one you're going to be going to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kind of like pops back from his gun and like props it back up and is just. Does that mean I win? Does that mean I win?
I guess so. This job's all yours. But listen, I'll be watching by, making sure nothing goes south on you.
I'd like to think you taught me better than that.
I also taught you never to keep your eye on anything other than what is beneficial to you. I'm not as worried as I am cautious. We don't know anything about who put this here. We don't know anything about what they're referring to. It's just better to have some backup.
Yeah. Always the off chance that it's just trap, I guess.
Could be. Them guards are getting real cunning.
Yeah, I'll keep my other half in an area that lets me get out quick.
Attaboy. You actually, through the scope, you can look down in that area, and you see guards moving through the streets. The guards here are donned in like this gold-tinted armor with purple underneath, and are referred to as the Aegis Guard. And they're not doing anything of note, they're just making their rounds.
Does it look like there's an abnormal amount of guards there, or does it just seem like the normal street patrol is just there at this moment?
It just seems like the normal kind, just a pair of them just walking down.
Yeah. He's just always keeping busy.
So, what else do you want to do in this day?
In this case, I guess it would be to ready up some gear. Probably go and get at the very least some potions. Because if it's a job, if it is a job, then I'm gonna need to make sure that my gear is prepped and everything, and that I'm ready for combat or.
Awesome. So, you head down to street level, and you're going to find a potion shop, right?
Yeah.
So you are aware of a herbalist, or if you're an American, an herbalist, in town.
Yeah.
And you go over to the shop. Nice. You walk in, and it's like it's not a building on its own. It's kind of like a shop that's attached to a number of other like row buildings.
To strip mall.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you walk in, the room is a little dark. And like the heavy, like dark oak bookcases and tables are lined with like this little bits of green table liners and this like emerald colored rug. And standing behind the counter, there is this tall and very thin furbolg of brown fur and orange hair. It's kind of like puffy and wild. Roll a history check and see if you know this guy.
I was about to ask that exact question. 14.
14. You probably haven't had many interactions with this guy, but his name is Talfair. And he works here, and you are aware that he has kind of a reputation for being swindled over in this particular gig. He kind of turns to notice you here, and he's like, "Hey, man, how you doing, bro?
Hello, hello.
You here for some potions?"
Yep.
Cool. Well, so we've only got a couple in stock right now, but I'll be happy to assist you as best I can. And he kind of reaches this long, lithe, but large hand underneath of the counter and pulls out this, like, essentially like a wine container, right? Like that wine rack with the 6 open spaces and the handle up above, and he pulls it out and puts it on top. Points within and says, "Yeah, we've got 2 regular potions of healing and this greater potion of healing, but if I might make a suggestion, this one," and he points down to one of the regular potions, which is a slightly darker color. It's a little more grungy. "This one I made myself, so I think it's better."
Right. Same formula, same purpose.
I might have added in a little bit of spice, make it a little bit more digestible, you know?
Can I? And like he picks up the bottle and like uncaps it and holds it up to his nose.
Yeah, make a nature check.
Oh boy. 12.
It's roughly the same thing, but there is a little hint of something else that you can't quite pick out.
Okay. But I can just tell it's something else. I can't like detect sweet or like
It's
alcoholic.
It's some weird like tang that you get.
Okay. I mean, listen, tang is a good description. And he goes, okay. How about this? I'll take the 2 normals and that one if you'll package them all together. Give me a little bit of a deal. And then I'll go around, and if it works well, I'll tell everybody I know.
Make a persuasion check.
Let's do it, baby. Oh, fuck yeah, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. He kind of doesn't even think about it. He's like, "Yeah, that's a really good idea. And when you go around, make sure you tell people that it's Moss Lie and not Moss Lee for my surname, because for some reason people get that wrong a lot. And I don't know why, and it's kind of upsetting to me. But anyways, I can give you the lot for, let's say, 125 gold.
Hey, Equid, now's a great time to mention that we never discussed how much gold I've got in my pocket.
Because you don't have much. You would have nowhere near that amount.
Cool. He just goes,
If
How
you're
about-
working for trade, though, we can probably figure something out.
Yeah. And he starts digging around in his bag and, oh, fuck, what the hell do I have? Known for being swindled. What could I really get away with here? I'm fucked. This is where I'm really bad at like lying.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a quick glance around the shop. And by my taste, what seems to be missing from it?
Yeah, roll a quick perception check for me.
Sure. Shout out expertise. That's 22.
22, yeah. You do catch like a number of potted plants that line some of like the top shelves of this particular establishment, and you note that about 3 of them are like the pots are there, but there's no plant inside. You take a look at the tag, and the tag says Jade. That's Jaade. Roll for me either history, medicine, or nature to understand what that is.
All things I am not proficient in. And I think it's the same number all the way around. Yep. That is a 15.
15. So Jade is a it's like a sunlight plant that is the main component in healing potions. And as you're looking at it, you kind of piece together what's probably happened. First of all, Jade is using healing potions, but it does have other recreational uses. And second, what he's probably done to give it the darker color is put way too much in, and now he's out of it.
Oh, so that's a hella potent potion. Jesus Christ.
It doesn't mean that it's more potent. It means that it's a little skewed.
Yeah. You said it's darker in here, right?
Yeah.
And it's a sunlight plant.
Mm-hmm.
He has a moment where he's like, kind of points at the pots and goes, running low on supply.
Yeah, I had to move those in here so that we could remember that they were for replenishment, because we have... It gets real close. You know that there is another person who like owns the shop, and he's just kind of like the apprentice, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up using most of our supply recently, so we're running a little low.
Gotcha. Well, okay. I'm just gonna throw out a vague number. Like, I'm just gonna throw out a vague number here, because I don't know the exact amount. And he goes, "Listen, you give me just those two," and he points at the one he made, and then the other one. For this amount, you'll have money to resupply, and nobody ever hears about the fact that it was a little overused. If we can't work something out, though, you know, me and the owner are a little bit close, and I've got a big mouth.
Roll intimidation.
Okay. Where is intimidation? 13.
He kind of like
Please?
thinks for a moment and like, you are one Weasley guy, my dude.
That's what I'm known for.
Sure.
pleasure. He slaps down the money, grabs 2 potions, stocks them, and goes, always a pleasure doing business.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say that. But okay, bye.
Yeah, I mean, I walk out of the shop. I got my deal.
Yeah, you've got your 2 potions. They're just 2 regular healing potions.
Sure.
So you are all stacked up.
Mm-hmm.
As we're gonna leave you there for now. Has anyone else made any headway on the cipher? Damn, you guys.
I'm too stupid for this. I give up.
I got it late.
Followed a
Do you
bunch
have
of
it?
dead ends.
No,
Okay.
Cryo was saying he got it late.
Oh, I thought they got to wait.
No, he got it late.
I
So,
think if I try to keep brute forcing this, I'm gonna get upset, which is not helpful.
Akan and Ulfgar, what else do you guys want to do today before night hits? Other than try and figure out the cipher.
Hey, Ulfgar, I was just gonna head back to the boys, but maybe we should put our heads together for this puzzle we've got in our hands here. I wouldn't want her to get it before I do.
Yes, that's true, but I do think better when I have a little bit of alcohol in my system. I think we should go to the tavern.
Tavern? Yeah, we could do tavern.
Okay.
You're buying, right?
Yes, I suppose I can buy this time.
Perfect.
So you guys head down to the nearest Dockwood Tavern that you can find. It's kind of a seedy bar. Nothing like crazy. There's always like that faint, like on the tip of your tongue, faint smell of vomit from somewhere in here that dried long ago and has not been cleaned because no one knows where it is. The stools are kind of a little bit chipped and worn from one too many bar fights. But the owners like try hard enough to keep it presentable. It's more so just that the rabble that comes through here is oftentimes a little too rough. You walk in and you see like this stocky dwarven woman who kind of has chin scruff and a little bit of a goatee on the bottom that kind of just dangles and curls. Like thickly braided dark hair, who stands behind the bar, and you watch as she like walks up to the front of the bar and has like a little step that she has to step on to kind of make it even with most humans, elves, that sort of thing. You guys are relatively familiar here, and she kind of like looks to you, Ulfgar, first and foremost, and she says, "So, I'm assuming it'll be the usual."
Yes, please, the usual.
Are
Dark ale for me and a cider for the boy.
Are you opening a tab this time, or are you going to pay up front?
I could pay up front this time.
Cool. Okay. She retreats and comes back a moment later with some the drinks that you ordered. We'll just subtract it from make-believe money. And she toddles off to go and kind of tend to the other mid-afternoon customers that appear in this bar.
Here you go, boy. Here's your cider.
Thanks. Bottoms up.
And
Yeah, I assume Ulfgar finishes it much, much quicker.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I kind
And,
of takes like a little sip.
Mm-hmm. Pinky out.
Absolutely.
and Ulfgar, assuming we go find a seat, he'll just kind of, for another round.
Yeah, the drinks keep coming.
So, Khan, what do you make of this paper? I found it on the docks when I was talking to the captain.
You found it on the docks. What, the captain give it to you?
No, I found it on some crates as they were loading their ship. He said it wasn't his, so...
Yeah, well, the one I had came out of a street urchin's pocket, although he actually gave it to me, unlike the scenario you just watched play out in front of you 10 minutes ago. He said there are a lot of them in the city, so it kind of seems like this is going out to more than just a few people, huh?
Yes, I have no idea what it could be for, unfortunately.
Well, I haven't learned to read this, but the little boy that gave this to me told me that symbol up there in the top right means invitation. And I suppose it's an invitation to whomever is clever enough to crack this code, which at the moment is not me.
Well, it's certainly not me, boy. When you get a little older, make sure you don't drink as much ale as me. Really bad on the brain.
I'll make sure to keep that in mind, he says, pausing his drink.
Yeah, so as a reminder for everyone here, Glitch figured this out, but Glitch had a hint.
We did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I made him roll an
Because-
intelligence check.
I
So-
asked for I asked if, because I knew thieves can't, if I knew ciphers, and so he gave me a little piece to run with.
So if you guys
Oh.
need it, you can also ask for a hint. I'm also, while I'm here, because everyone has the cipher, right? Everyone has been...
That makes me
Yes.
feel slightly better that Noah had an extra piece of information, and
Mhm.
Oh, this is better. Big
I'm
screen.
staring at this, and I just feel like an idiot.
Give
I'm
him the
not gonna
same
lie.
one. Give it to him, Miko. I think that'll help him a lot.
Yeah, whoever wants to roll intelligence can do so if you want a hint.
Sure.
No.
Sure, I'll try.
See if I overheard the boys talking.
I don't get a hint.
Equa.
Fair enough.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Oh,
Now I'm gonna feel real stupid if I can't solve it.
it's okay. Klein's not smart.
What else do I get?
What was the roll again?
Intelligence.
Okay. I don't think. 16.
Okay, it's good enough for a hint.
Oh, okay.
Klein gets nothing.
Klein rolled 6.
Okay,
I rolled a 5.
so here's what we're going to do. Barely, Cryo, and Grace, I want each of you to mute until I hold up the number 2. At which
You mean
point...
deafen?
Yeah, to
You mean
deafen
deafen?
until I hold up number 2 in my hand. At which point, Grace, you can unmute. Or undeafen. When I hold up the number 1, everyone comes back.
Okay.
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 Okay, is everyone gone?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm still here.
So, Akan, with a natural 20, the best way that I can describe this is to look at the numbers on the code, and you will note that the numbers 1 through 5 are both backwards and forwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're backwards, they still have to be translated to the same understandable written language, right? So we're dealing with a set of 5 and a set of 20, because the forwards numbers go from 1 to 20. If you add 20 and 5 together, because we've got two sets, a set of 20 and 25, we get to 25 total,
Yeah.
which is an interesting number because it's one away from 26. 26 is the number of letters in the alphabet, the English
There are
alphabet, right?
zeros.
So how can the English alphabet be broken up into a section of 5 or 6 and a section of 20 or 21 to make 26?
How can the English alphabet be broken into, what was that again? 5?
Yeah, a
Or
set
6?
of 5 or 6 and a set of 20 or 21, because 5 plus 21 is 26, or 6 plus 20 is 26.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Does that help you?
That's a huge lead. I'm going to start poking away at that.
Since you got a natural 20, I will happily give you the answer to this if you want it. But if you would prefer to solve it, that's cool.
Let me see if I can solve it first.
Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with Grace.
Wait, am I gonna deafen now? Or
No, you're
can I
fine.
keep listening? Okay,
You're fine.
cool.
Are you here, Grace?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat the same thing that I just told to BK. This sequence of numbers, you will note, has numbers 1 through 5 backwards and numbers 1 through 20 forwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of those numbers you would assume mean a different thing. So we're dealing with 25 total characters, not including the zeros. Actually, we'll include the zeros. So 26 characters total, right?
Mm-hmm.
What has 26 characters in it that you can understand?
Okay, obviously alphabet.
Alphabet, right? So, how can you split the alphabet into a section of 5 or 6 and a section of 20 or 21?
Oh, motherfucker. That's it?
That's it.
God damn it.
There you go. Or was it 1? I don't remember if it was 3 or 1 that I said.
It was
I was gonna
1.
hang up. 1.
3 was not discussed. What does 3 mean?
I forgot. I didn't know if it was 2, 3, or...
3 means the equal...
I don't think Barely noticed.
Someone will message him.
Yeah, you're good. He held up 1.
Sorry, had to find the button.
Okay, zooming back into Akan and Ulfgar. Akan, you look at this cipher and you begin to piece together what you think it could be.
Still piecing it together.
Equa, I also DM'd you a small idea real quick.
I'm looking... Interesting. As you guys are sitting in this tavern, you hear like this loud burp from behind you, like 20 feet away, as there's just another guy in the tavern. Like a half-elf dude. Slightly darker skin. Growing like a scruff of reddish-brown hair and beard. Kind of slovenly, sitting over there, and not drunk, but maybe a little tipsy already in the afternoon in this city.
Ulfgar is just going to turn around and give him a nice thumbs up. And then he'll turn back over to Akan, and he's just going to start rambling.
Say, Akan, did I ever tell you about this lass that was on my ship? Oh, she was such a beautiful high elf with a cute little button nose. I never did tell her that I liked her. The
Has
point
Akan
being,
heard this story before? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know, he probably has.
Yeah, probably.
As
point-
Akan's listening to it, he's drinking faster and faster.
the point being, Akan, is never be afraid to chase those who you love. Sometimes you don't get a second chance.
Are you telling me this for a reason?
Well, I just... Well, we're friends, aren't we?
I suppose we are.
Just thought it would be fun to, get to know each other more, that's all. And, I've a few regrets in life. I'm a little older than you are.
Are you trying to be the dad I never had? Ulfgar?
Well, if you look up to me that way, then I'd feel very honored. I was raised with my crew, as I've mentioned before. My captain was like a dad to me, and...
As Ulfgar... As Ulfgar is saying this, Khan's head is completely buried in this cipher as he's rotating it around. You could just hear him
Ulfgar is going to
muttering.
scoot his chair closer to you and peer over your shoulder as you're working on this.
Oh, do you have any headway?
Yeah, I'll mention to Ulfgar. You notice how some of these numbers are written a little funny. You see right
Yeah.
here, the second one is supposed to be a 4, but it's backwards. And I noticed that only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are ever written backwards. What do you think of that?
I'd say it looks like my handwriting when I've had too many drinks, but
Ouch.
So maybe if you drink more, you'll be able to help me solve this?
perhaps.
All right, you know what? I think it's time I start paying. And I raise my hand up and I call for another drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you guys are restocked with alcohol and you continue to work on this cipher together. Let's catch back up with Klein. Klein, how long do you spend looking at this cipher?
Klein has this in front of him for like the foreseeable future. Occasionally he'll just like mutter to himself. He'll be like, "This one looks like it's backwards. Who writes numbers backwards? I do not understand." I do not. Just casually, like walking along. I'll follow the docks. I'll just follow them north. Like I'll just follow the dockside road like north for a while, just to see what I wander upon as I'm spinning this image in front of my face.
Yeah, you wander the docks north and kind of go into the city a little bit more. And you come across what looks to kind of be like another street performer, but he's really just minding his own business, just kind of making apparitions appear in the air out of absolutely nothing. This kind of like a little wrinkly turtle man wearing like gentle flowing robes. It's just kind of muttering to himself as he goes by, kind of conjuring up various images of the buildings that he sees, of the people that go by, of little books, and like a watch at one point. Like lots of little things. Just walking by.
Hey, I'm sorry. Give me that last little bit again.
He's just walking by you. He's just coming down the road and he's about to go straight past.
He's just got all sorts of knickknacks.
He's just conjuring them in the air. Yep, and then they disappear, and then he brings them back up, and then they disappear.
It's like completely distracts Klein from this paper. I'm just gonna like pivot on a heel, tuck the paper into my vest, and I'm just gonna follow this guy, watching him doing his shtick.
Yeah, he walks through the streets, and a couple times bumps into people and either doesn't notice or doesn't care. And like even twice, like bumps into a wall of a building, and then just like shakes himself out of it and looks to where he is, and is like, "Oh," and then walks beyond and goes back into the road and keeps conjuring things. He doesn't notice you there at all.
Peeking over each shoulder, finally at one point, just, "Das was a nice trick."
Yeah, you kind of make him jump a little bit, and he kind of spins around to you. Like, you watch him spin and looks where a normal, like, an adult's head would be, and then kind of takes a moment and then looks down at you. Even though you're only, like, you're slightly less than 5 foot, he just completely misses you. And he's like, "Oh, hey, little boy, thank you. I try very hard on these things, you know."
9.
Okay. Well, all right.
Can you show Klein?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? Here, hold out your hand. And he holds out his hands, and you watch as these like long, elongated, thin fingernails begin to pull apart in the air, and it's almost like this little like blob of clay begins to just stretch out from nothing, and he just begins elegantly like sculpting it out of non-existence. You watch as he pulls and twists and like sticks his finger in and carves out certain sections and then flicks that excess clay out, and it just vanishes into nothing. And by the end of it, you have a small piece of holy cheese that he hands over to you, and then it slowly turns yellow from the dull grey that it was before. Now, you can't eat that. It will not be edible, and it will also disappear in an hour, but for the time being, that is your cheese.
9.
Okay,
Klein would eat Klein's cheese. If I can't eat this, it's not Klein's cheese.
I see. I'm gonna be honest with you, little, Kyan. I don't really know what to do here. You're a little, out of my area of expertise, so, it was nice meeting you, and,
Does Conjuring Man not like children? Klein is not child. Klein is teenager.
okay, yeah,
Conjuring Man not like teenagers.
you know, I don't have an issue with, I think, anyone. It's just that I don't really know how to approach this. I have that problem a lot, but with you in particular, I'm having a hard time, so I'm gonna just go on my way. I you know, trying to find something interesting to do, so...
What is your name?
My name is Thovazin.
Klein is Klein.
Yeah, I get that, yes. You sure are. So,
Gift. Holds the cheese out.
I don't think that's how that... You know what? It sure is. And he picks up the cheese, and he says, well, I must find something interesting to do apart from this. So, I hope you have a good day, little Klein.
As he turns away, I'm gonna cast guidance on myself. I'm gonna try and pickpocket him.
Fair dues. What are you aiming for? Just one random pocket?
Does he have any kind of coin purse or pocket that he has been reaching into or fiddling with?
Not that he's been reaching into, but he does have a number of, like, pouches on the side of his belt.
I'll go for whichever one is smallest.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check.
I'm really glad I used guidance. It's only a D4, but... Okay. 14 plus 3 plus 2, so 19.
Yeah, you just swipe it. He keeps going, still conjuring the things, and as you like turn to walk away, he gets about 20 feet away from you, and then his conjuring stops. And he tries to do it again, and nothing happens.
I swiped his focus.
And you hear him kind of say, "What in the blue blazes?" And he's just kind of like trying to figure out what's going on.
Slide into an alley.
Yeah. Noah,
Yeah.
what's your passive perception?
17.
So you don't see exactly what happens, but as you are walking down the alley, fresh from your potion obtaining, You watch as this, like, clearly wizard turtle is throwing stuff up in the air, and then just all of a sudden is not able to do so. And then you watch a small, leather-clad boy walk quickly away from the scene.
Once I'm out of sight of the turtle, I'm gonna peek in the bag real quick and see what it is.
You dip into an alley and you peek inside the bag, and it is full of little, like, flowers and a bit of fleece and a little bit of bat dung. And you're like, oh, I know what this is. This is a component pouch.
Component pouch. I immediately cinch it closed, and I come back around, and I, like, run after the turtle.
Yeah,
And just, like,
cinch your clothes and run after him.
run up to him, behind him again, and just tap, tap.
You tap him on the shell.
Mm-hmm.
He does not respond.
Boom, boom.
Knock.
Yeah.
Yeah. You knock and you feel the air like reverberate in the space in the shell. He kind of like stops and. Oh, hey! I thought we were done with this.
Oh. 9.
Okay.
He goes and drop. Can I just hold the bag out?
Oh. I was wondering where that went. Thank you very much, little clown. That is very kind of you. If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. Otherwise...
Shoes. I gestured down at my bare feet.
Oh, I don't have any of those. And he gestures down to his bare feet.
Oh.
He's a turtle. They're leathery.
Shoe shop. Like, questioningly.
Okay. Sure. Why not? And he beckons for you to follow and starts leading you down the road.
I am going to just follow along.
Would I have recognized
Carry me.
this leather-clad tiefling boy from the candle situation earlier?
You didn't when they were first walking away.
Uh-huh.
And now that they're back and accompanying this turtle, now you're like, okay, I see.
I've got time until I gotta be where I gotta be. And this kid is curious. How common are tieflings in this city?
Tieflings, about as much. How much does it say in regular New Rules? Is it like 1 in 10 in 100 or something? Probably around there. 5 or 10 in 100.
Gotcha. I think at this point the kid's just kind of spiked his interest because it's like, okay, he swindled a shop that that Felder said is easily swindled, and then he talked to a turtle and he's pointing around for shoes. Like, clearly the kid doesn't have parents at all, and he's just been wandering. So I'm gonna go ahead and stay out of sight like I've always been taught to do, and just straight up walk up a wall and kind of keep hidden on the rooftops in a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and roll stealth.
Sure. My best stat, and it gave me a 17.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Because I rolled bad.
It's simple enough to get up onto the roof without being noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you just slowly tail behind. So Vezin walks down a few roads and eventually finds a small cobbler. It's more of like a street person who like does the rag on the shoes.
Like the shoe shining and shoe.
Yeah, and he just kind of sees shoes and he walks up and he's like, "Excuse me, do you have any spare shoes for this young one right here? He is in need." And the cobbler who is down there is another half elf, like young, like teenage boy. Can't be older than like 18, 19. Like very short, sandy brown hair, bright eyes, like occasional freckles. goes to the back of like his little setup and starts pulling. He's only got like 2 or 3 pairs of shoes, and pulls them out to go and have you try them on.
Try them on. Do they fit?
None of them fit perfectly, but there is one pair that looks. It's kind of like workman's boots. They're not like steel-toed, but they're like definitely like, you know, that
The
general
heavy
shape.
leather
Yeah, they're the
ones,
heavy
yeah.
leather ones, and they're the best fitting.
All right. Klein take.
Okay, how much is Klein gonna take these for? And the guy says,
Klein will take them forever.
right, we'll call it 5 silver. And the turtle just, very well, and hands over 5 silver to the guy. Well, I think we're square for you finding my component pouch there. So,
Dankeschön, friend Klein.
yes, we are friends. Well done. Dankeschön. So,
To walk away. I'm going to.
yeah, he's like,
Say
so
wave
where do
goodbye.
you... And you're just walking away.
I will not put the shoes on.
Okay.
I walk away, and I'm just gonna find a vagrant with similar shoe size to me.
Okay. Sure. You know what? For the sake of brevity here, it doesn't take you too long.
Okay. Yeah. I'll eventually just find like a homeless guy hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just be like,
You see this kind of like pale human man with like big, like scruffy gray hair. He's like,
shoes,
cool.
gift.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. And he kind of leans over to go and grab them from you.
And then I just leave. I just walk away. Just return to my activities. Like, give this man the shoes. Then I just go walking on.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Glitch, you oversee all of this.
Yeah. As Klein gets into an area that seems like less people, I could probably drop and be like, I could probably drop and not get noticed by passerby. Yeah, he's gonna drop. Or you know, walk down, whatever is quietest in this situation. Behind Klein, and just speak up and go. Why?
I don't know what anybody's talking.
Kid.
About.
Yeah, when he doesn't get the acknowledgement, he just goes, "Hey, kid."
Klein walks a few more steps, and then just kind of like stops, like looks back, and is just.
Yeah.
Da.
Why? You don't have your own shoes. Why'd you give them away?
Oh, Klein does not like wearing shoes.
What?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Not what I expected. I don't know. I saw you ask the turtle guy. You asked him for shoes.
Oh,
Is that
Klein
just
does
what
not
you
wear
do?
shoes, and people always worry when Klein does not have shoes, so they offer to help Klein get shoes. Klein has learned it's very easy to get people to get you shoes if you are small and do not have shoes. And then Klein gives shoes to people who want shoes.
Damn. That's charitable.
No, because Klein does not want the shoes. He's get rid of junk. Reappropriate junk.
Right. Well, here I was gonna offer you, and he like digs in his bag and he was like, I was just gonna offer you these because you gave yours away. I thought you were just doing something nice.
Klein will take.
Will Klein
Klein will
re-give?
not keep. Mm-hmm.
He kind of like cocks his head and looks at Klein. He's like,
Holds a hand out, like expectantly.
You're a
One
weird
hand
kid.
on like a backpack strap, and the other hand out.
"You do trades?" I'll trade you my junk for your junk.
Klein does not have junk.
Phrasing.
Shut up.
There is no other way that could have been interpreted.
I am a
Yes,
teenager, leave me
garbage.
alone. Leave me.
It could have been reinterpreted as garbage because that is the context we have said junk this entire time.
I got very distracted once I got
Klein
the
does
hint
not
for
have
the
junk.
puzzle.
Klein possesses no genitalia.
Jesus.
Been a long week. Leave me alone.
Klein is Barbie and Ken smooth.
Oh no!
And that's canon. Wow.
Yeah, there it is. He goes, no fancy little knick-knack or anything. Then I'll at least help you find somebody to give them to.
Strange man talking to Klein, wanting Klein to tag along with him, offering Klein things. Das und pervert.
No. Oh my god. No, kid. I grew up on the streets too. You know what? And he tosses the shoes to him.
I grab him and like run away. This was the plan. This was the plan. Dankeschön. I just walk away.
God, you try and do something nice when you're trying to make a shit ton of money. Like he just kind of.
Do I hear shit ton of money?
If you say it out loud, yeah.
Oh, I 100% said it out loud. It was like that kind of like mutter to self.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely legible because he just
Yeah.
assumes that a kid doesn't give two shits.
Like I stop dead in my tracks and the tail does the flick and then just turns back. Like the fucking like I forgot to mention like silvery white irises. So like turns back, just stares into your soul immediately. Just
He's already turned like he immediately like as soon as you ran off, he was just like fucking all right. He's like already heading back out.
tap on the middle of your back after a few seconds.
Yeah.
How much money?
Oh shit. Like he has that moment of just like, oh shit, you heard that. It's a job. You just gotta get, boring, like working, yeah. I'm just trying to do a nice thing, because,
What
you
is job?
start. Knick-knack acquisition. All these fancy little trinket shops, they need new stuff, so I go about trying to find it.
Grave robber?
No.
Life robber.
No.
Das und thief.
Me? No.
You just said that and thief.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
It's not good German. It's not good German.
No. No, I just go and get things when people want them, and they pay me money to do so.
It's not a job.
It is a job.
No, it's not a job.
Yes, it's a job.
No one pays anyone to do that. They can go get things on their own.
Well, maybe it's hard to find. What if your great-grandpa had a pocket watch and it got lost? My job's to go and find it.
He did not.
Well, pretend. Pretend that he did. My job is to go and find things, and then people pay me for finding those things.
I would not pay you to find pocket watch. I did not know my great-grandpa.
He has a small internal moment of like, this kid's so stupid and so sad. Like, some people are dumb enough to let me.
Oh. Not thief. Con artist.
That one's fair. I'll let you have that one. Are you satisfied now?
I
You
would
get
ask again. How much money? How much?
I don't think it's your skill set, kid.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good one. Go find somebody to give those shoes to. It's a very nice thing you do.
Give me 1 second here. Igor, can you check DMs?
Sure can.
Little pat on head, walk away.
Yeah, I mean, he really does. He's just like, it's a good thing you do. And he's like,
Pat, pat.
yep.
Good talk.
Okay, so you pat him on the head.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like a gentle, like,
Turn and walk away.
and then I go on about my day. The curiosity in the kid just wanting to be nice and give the shoes led to a lot of suspicious line of questioning. So he's like, I'm out of here.
Okay. So you
I'm
turn around
I'm
and
I'm
walk
gonna
away.
go and do what I got to do to get ready for tonight, which I assume is approaching, hopefully sooner rather than later.
It sure is.
Sick. Yeah, then he's probably gonna get down to that street and lay low.
Okay.
See if he
So-
can pick up any extra information about the site.
Okie dokie. So you head on over there. Let's catch up with. Let's catch up with Det. You and Lithrain make your way to the Fancy Inn. And you go in there and it's like a nice reception. There's like public baths off to one side and like a small food thing off to the other side. Go up these stairs to find rooms. It's very fancy. What do you do?
I go check it and get a room for the two of us, I guess.
Yep, easy enough to do. You go ahead and acquiesce one room.
Place to start. This place is very pompous.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's nice to have that, you know?
No, we do like the luxury from every now and then. I can't. Words are hard. All right.
Are you feeling alright?
No. That
You-
fucking puzzle broke me.
You know what we need? Spa day.
Spa day indeed.
So you guys check out the room and then you come back down and you go and take your bath and do your thing.
All right, what the fuck do you think this is? And she's like holding up the paper.
I'm gonna be honest. The only thing that I can pick out from this is that there are backwards numbers and there are forwards numbers, and that's about it.
Did your little friend down by the docks know anything? I'm assuming that's where you got it from.
Yeah, I sure did, and he knew nothing, which is about what I expected. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
He was
Poor
he was
guy.
he was charming. He was, and he's a He's not bad to look at, but his musical talent was a little rough around the edges. But
Not
I
everyone
won't
can
tell.
be you, Liz.
Well, that's true. So what do you think about it?
What do I think about it? Well, I think that there might be something interesting in this. I'll take a look at it later.
I wonder what the spiral means. Maybe
Could be an order.
it's not even like... She kind of picks it out a little bit. Maybe he just... Whoever wrote it, maybe they just ran out of room to do it, you know, in a row. So they decided to do it in a spiral instead. Unless...
Maybe they were just feeling a little silly.
Oh, what if there's a number for a space?
There might be. It looks like there might be.
She focuses in on it for a good 5 minutes before declaring that she's stumped. She cannot find any recognizable pattern in these numbers in any way. And so you retreat back to, I assume, your room.
Yeah.
And you keep looking at it. Eventually, and within some time, the solution begins to come to you.
Yeah. Some point there's like small scraps of paper just everywhere that has definitely borrowed from her companion because she does not have any. Or is like torn apart. Like, this is terrible, but you know how like if you go to a hotel they'll have like a copy of the Bible in a drawer by the nightstand, usually like torn. If there is like some fantasy Bible equivalent or something, Dead has probably torn apart one of those books and been like, I'll pay for it later, it's fine.
Yeah, scrawlings abound the floor.
Yeah. After a little bit, she just holds up a little piece of paper and just like, got it! I got it!
Yeah, she was like kind of falling asleep in the corner and she shoots back up.
Fucking got it!
Oh, what's it say?
Can I read it?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, everyone, out of character, everyone's got it.
there's one thing that I'm not sure on, and I think it's just a name.
Yeah,
Because it looks
you're
kind
not
of
solving it
funky.
anyway, so you shut up.
To a master thief, Torm Street tonight. Look for light. Don't get caught. The big job. Prove yourself. Prove yourself. I can't speak.
The big job, huh?
Big job.
What is the big job?
Couldn't tell you. Also not a master thief, so. Got the job though. Might pay well.
Well, if you're not a master thief, I'm not going to tell you to go, but
Might be worth investigating.
might be
Make a
worth being a
little bit of extra
little more confident in
money.
yourself.
Might be a chance for you to see your little friend again, because he's the one you got this from.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know. You're the one who said he was not too bad to look at.
Well, this is a new city. I'm sure there are plenty of men like that.
Yes, but how many men that look like that probably have a stick up their arse?
For all we know, he could as well.
It's true.
I suppose we'll have to think about it.
We're
So-
totally going.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Well, let's be honest.
Okay.
We're gonna go. Well, better get ready then.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, as you guys don your thieving gear, we'll catch back up with Akan and Ulfgar in the tavern. Akan has been scrawling heavily on this little piece of paper. And Ulfgar's just been talking the whole time.
Hey, Ulfgar.
Yes.
I'd hate to interrupt you, but you want to come with me to Torm Street tonight?
Well, of course. I'll accompany you.
Cause it says Torm Street on the paper.
Right, yes, I got that as well. Yes.
And apparently we are master thieves because we were able to solve this. It's like in the first part right here. Yeah, it says, look for the light on Torm Street, don't get caught, something, prove yourselves. The big job. Eco, I sent you a DM.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have heard the scuttlebutt about scores that thieves talk about? Kind of like big pipe dreams for thieves.
Roll a history check for me.
Cool. Would be an 18.
18. There are several big jobs that thieves fantasize about. It could really be anything. It could be a dungeon dive. It could be a bank job. There is a bank here in the city. It could be a pirate thing. I mean, you're on the coast from the Broken Empire, so it's not entirely impossible that it could be any of these things. From your knowledge of it, whatever the loot is, it's probably not in Torm Street. Because you also know what Torm Street is. Torm Street is the street that rides next to the docks and was the street where the corner that Lithuania was performing on. It's down there. So there's probably not like a crap ton of money in there, but whoever has been inviting master thieves to do the big job probably knows what they're talking about. Torm Street isn't like... It's not a poor neighborhood. It's a decent neighborhood. One might even consider it a little well off.
Huh. The big job. Could be one of your pirate things, Wolfgar. Or... no. Well, I guess we'll just have to go back to where we saw that Eladrin chick performing earlier.
All right, that sounds good. Can I get one for the road, please?
Anything for you, Wolfgar.
What did it say about not getting caught? I do have quite heavy armor on. You think we'll be all right?
Yeah, I think they just mean don't be conspicuous when you go there. I mean, we walk around there all the time, right? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Be
Should fine.
conspicuous. Got it. Yes.
Yes, be very yeah, it's opposite day to day. Ulfgar. Just be yourself. I think everything will be fine.
All right.
It's a Jester holiday. Opposite day. Okay, so everyone begins heading their way down to Torm Street, with the exception of one, Klein. What do you do for the rest of the day?
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good question. Klein, knowing that they are not smart, would go... Oh, what's the name I'm looking for here? 1 second. Did you send me their name?
Yes, I did. Yep.
You did. I'm gonna go find Dapia.
Okay. Yeah. As the afternoon sun begins to go lower in the sky, you go and find Dapia out of her regular like back room. It's like out of the back of her garden, basically. Shop. You watch as you go up there, and she does have like a small plot of greenery in the city, which is impressive. But the house is not, in crazy like It's not worth a great deal. It seems like more of the value of what she paid for this house is probably in the land itself. And you walk up to see the familiar satyr. In her, her regular garb, kind of longer, very curly, fuzzy hair, like faint, brackish, dark horns that emanate from the top of the head. Not going too high or too far out, but they're there for sure. Wearing kind of like a gardener's garb and an apron on the front of her, shirt. And she's kind of just tending to the garden a little bit, and you just appear out of nowhere.
Just kind of step around a corner. Guten Tag.
She doesn't even jump. Like, for the first, you're used to like sneaking up on people and making sure that they're scared, but she is beyond that. She kind of turns slowly to you and looks back around, and you see like these bright greenish eyes that just look back, and she kind of slowly stands up. And she looks down, and you see now as she's pulling her hands forward, the dark material that's covering her hands is not dirt. It is of a darker color, and will be more indicative of some like black powder. She kind of leans down close and says, "So where have you been?
Klein has been adventuring.
And where has your adventures taken you?"
I pull out the paper, and then I pull out the chalice.
Oh, for the love of Pete. And she takes both, and she kind of goes inside with them, and sets them down, invites you to sit down next to her. And Dappia, like, has a small family. Like, she's got a husband and a young fawn child, who are, like, constantly running around the house, tearing it up. And she sits down and attempts to decipher this piece of code. Oh, good job, Dappia. She takes a couple hours and doesn't even, like, acknowledge you. Like, you are free to do whatever you want here.
At any point, if her kid runs by, Klein, like, grabs them and, like, tosses them up in the air. And, like, we'll toss them and catch them for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they, like, giggle and then run around the rest of the house and then come back down and you do it again. It takes about 25 minutes before the paper is returned to you. And you read the inscription on it. Does someone want to read the inscription? Or what the letter says? Since you all figured it out, I feel like you should be the ones to say it.
I can do it.
Yeah, go for it.
To a master thief, Torm Street tonight. Look for light, don't get caught. The big job, prove yourself.
Sick. Klein, like, reads it all and just... This is an odd way to request work.
Are you going?
Do you think the job is illegal?
Probably, yeah.
Do you think the job will get a lot of money?
If they're not lying about it.
Do you think you can get this open, holding the chalice again?
Yeah, she sighs and takes it. She rolled like shit on that. She fiddles with it for a bit, but ultimately can't get any leeway on it at all.
Klein will get later. Sit back. Stretch a bit.
So you're just gonna wait out the rest of the time here?
I will give her the remaining 2 silver from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
After I had the 1 broken for fish and chips. Then I will go. Klein is off to commit crimes.
Okay. So, as everyone heads out towards the next destination, we're gonna end the episode here.
Wow!
Nice little introduction. So you're all converging on the same point.
Yeah.
And we will pick up next time at the introduction to this part of the story. So thanks everyone for
Crime
playing.
in time.
Thanks for coming out.
Crime
Let's keep making
Crime in
stories
time.
together, and we'll see
Yeah.
you Klein time.
Climb time.
Klein
Climb time, crime time.